Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to The Truth Cannot Be Taught, Swami Anubhavananda. So, I was thinking, the truth cannot be taught. It's like, wait, no, it kind of has to be. I mean, 1 plus 1 equals 2, that has to be taught. And then I was thinking, it's like, oh, wait, the truth about yourself cannot be taught. Well, I guess so. I guess what is taught is how to experience the truth of who you are. The truth of who you are cannot be taught, it must be experienced. But how to see the truth must be taught. I think that's what they're going with here. Let's go and give this video a shot.
Hey Parameshwara, I have done myself best, but I am unable to understand. So, what is this? Paramatma Tattva kindly tell. Adrushta Vigraha Shanta Shivat Parapat Paramakaranat Dhvani Rupam Vinishkrantam Shastram Paramadurlabham. The truth is beyond the scope of sense organs, speech, and mind. What are the known means of knowledge for us? We know that which is caught within the area of sense organs, that which can be spoken of by the words, and that which can be experienced by the mind. But the truth is beyond the three. How will you experience it? This can be experienced when the experiencer is dropped. Therefore, the truth is experience without experiencer. When there is no experiencer born, there cannot be success or failure on the path of spiritual evolution. Success and failure is only for the one who is doing something. How simple it is, not difficult. Therefore, Adrushta Vigraha Shanta, which cannot be an object of knowledge, Vigraha Shanta doesn't have any form. It cannot be spoken of. And therefore, Shiva Paramakaranat, and it is the Shiva, the absolute cause of this relative world. There are so many things. Now, if we become subtle in our perception, we will come to know that things are so many only because there is space in between. If there is no space in between, things cannot be many. But we are so preoccupied with the forms that the formless space we miss. Without the space, no form can exist. Similarly, without the silence, words cannot become many. And when the mind is thus occupied with only the space or only the silence, mind goes back to the life goes back to the potentiality is with the Paramatma. And therefore, this truth cannot be taught. It cannot be shown. And what are you doing? Trying to make you unlearn or what you are learned.
I will say the unlearn what you've learned is kind of a backwards thing, and when you look at it from, at least from my perspective, and I'm sure most people's perspective, considering that generally speaking, you grow up learning about things, so you know how to do things, use things, speak, talk, do math, and all that. Because you have to learn all of those things. But then to say to unlearn all those things is kind of weird. It's like, why? But I kind of get it, because what we've learned when we grow up is identities and identifiers. Objects, things, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and we have to unlearn all those things to get back to the source. I will say that's very difficult. Again, whenever he talks about, what was that? Without silence, there's not many words, because I always think it's like that's just basically like constant noise, I suppose. With no silence, there's just every single millisecond is filled with noise. So there's only ever one noise. And without space, there are not many objects. There's just one in a sense, because, well, there's only one thing. There's no space. I wonder if you could say you can say there's one object and then there's nothing around it. And that one object would be the experiencer. But with nothing to experience, well, I don't know what else to say out of that, because I think that's what it's getting at, to the point of where if there's no space between us, then there's only one thing, or there's, I want to say unlimited, but there's only one thing and nothing to experience. But because of the many different spaces between us, we experience different things, different objects, different people.
Therefore, for such satsanga, you can never get crowds.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I did not realize that was cutting so short. But yeah, okay. The truth cannot be taught. I mean, that's an interesting. That's again another kind of contradictory thing from a certain perspective, especially ones who do not, I guess, watch this kind of videos, or not interested in Eastern philosophy. Like, the truth is taught, obviously, but the missing thing here is kind of like a gotcha. Is the truth of oneself cannot be taught, which is very true. Even if you look at it from a Western perspective, or I won't say Western, from a perspective different from this Eastern philosophy, the fact that most people know that your true self, even, let me say, who you are, how you feel, and what you think cannot be taught to you. It is something that only you would know. I'm not talking about the Atman, but in terms of the, I guess, non-Eastern philosophy ways of thinking, to a degree. A lot of people think, I'm calm. I like to think about things. I don't act hastily. These are qualities of who I am, and that's the truth of who I am. It's something that cannot be taught to me. That's something I must know. I must look inwards to know those things about me. But this one obviously goes a little bit further. But I like how the fact that this is something that I think most people can relate to. The first step is just self-identifying with certain things, and then, much like everything else, go back a little bit deeper than that. Oh, you can identify these things like, oh, I'm tall, identify with the physical characteristics. And then, something that most people can understand, and something that you get them looking inwards just a little bit, and then go a little bit deeper, then deeper, so you don't scare them off, like, it's like, oh, no, I'm not talking about your thoughts or anything, like, I'm deeper, it's like, what do you mean deeper? It's kind of like reeling them into that. Anyways, very interesting. The truth cannot be taught. Again, whenever I saw this, I was like, I did think about the other way. Obviously, 1 + 1 = 2. No one knows that until you teach them that. but obviously the Atman is what he's talking about. So anyways, if you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.